back, everybody. Our first guest tonight is an Emmy-winning actress you know from shows like Designing Women, Mayor of Easttown, Watchmen, and Hacks, which is streaming on HBO Max. She's starring in Call Me Izzy, which is playing at Studio 54 on Broadway. Please welcome back to the show our friend Jean Smart, everybody. Hello, Jean. Hello. I'm incredibly grateful that you were spending your night off with us. And also, this has not been the easiest Broadway run.
Well, no, 4th of July, I went to Macy's to buy myself a cute little 4th of July outfit to wear to the fireworks.
Okay.
And I was outside and I was trying to hail a cab and I saw one. I went, oh, and I tripped over something, you know.
That's the thing about New York. You never know what you're tripping over.
Surprise, surprise.
By the time you look down, it's gone.
It's true, it's true. And I broke my kneecap in half.
Oh.
Yeah, so on the 8th of July, they screwed it back together.
Jean, when you hit the ground, I would imagine what you've described sounds incredibly painful.
Yeah.
Were you audibly in pain in a way that like passersby will talk about forever?
Well, as I was laying there, I was thinking, oh God, please don't take a picture. Anybody, please, please, please. I was with my sons, but as I'm like sitting on the street waiting for the ambulance, a guy tripped over the same thing. You know? And when I went to the emergency hospital, I mentioned to the nurse, said, well, what did you trip over? And I told her, I kind of described what it was, and she said, oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. She goes, we get one a day.
I like that nobody follows up on it.
Well, but you know what? My oldest son did write a little.
Oh, really?
The complaint department, I guess, at the city.
Gotcha.
Like that, and they immediately went out and fixed it.
Really?
Yeah.
You took action. That's fantastic.
Good for New York.
You'd obviously put a lot of time into this show. This is a one-person show, so you do all the work of learning all these lines, and then obviously, for a very good reason, you cannot do it. But you rallied back probably a lot quicker than most actors would, I assume, because you were just eager to get back out there.
Well, luckily, I didn't do any big tap numbers or anything at the show. You know, so the audience doesn't seem to mind that I mostly sit. But I had a leg brace on from my ankle to here until about 2 days ago. So I couldn't move my, so in the dark, they just kind of propped me on a chair with my leg up. But no one seems to mind. But yeah, so I just got it off. And my knee's going, oh, now you want me to bend? Sure. So slowly but surely, I'm trying to bend it a little bit more.
You have been on both crutches and had a cane. Have you recognized, or I've heard that you've observed a difference?
Well, yeah, it's I don't know what it is. When you're on crutches, people always go, oh, bummer, you know, what happened? Oh, are you okay? And everything. But if you're on a cane, people go, are you all right? Is there anything we can do? Would you like to sit? Nothing makes you feel older.
Oh my God, yeah. You just throw the cane out. You're like, back to the crutches.
It's true.
Oh my God. This is, this is a very dramatic part. You're playing a woman in an abusive relationship who is turning, to poetry, expressing herself through poetry. And again, it is helpful that it's not a very physical play, but obviously your physicality must change to some degree. Do you feel like it's leaned into? A little
bit. I mean, because I talk directly to the audience for an hour and a half, and I'm also voicing about 7 or 8 other characters, but it's mostly this one woman. But because I'm talking directly to the audience, and because now I don't get up and really walk around, I feel like it's more intimate. I feel like I'm putting more energy towards the audience because I'm not standing. You know? I really like, and I've never been in a show that had such quiet moments, just absolutely quiet. You could hear a pin drop and huge laughs.
That's really wonderful.
The dichotomy has been incredible.
There's another incredible thing happening, which is at the same time, John Krasinski is doing essentially a
one-man show.
show.
Yes. Oh, it's supposed to be fantastic. I wish I could see
it. He sent you this to have in your dressing room.
Well, first we had the same vocal coach, so we would trade messages, and I'd say, "Oh, I'm such a fan." He said, and then we'd trade each other inspirational messages to put in our dressing room, and then we started sending each other bottles of wine, and we still hadn't met yet, and then he sends me this.
To Jean, you seem like a great kid. Keep reaching for the stars.
Okay. Really wonderful. I believe that is the definition of cheeky.
Yeah.
I think.
It's also, it's very funny that he chose, like, Office era
Yes.
John Krasinski.
So
Like,
cute.
yeah, it was not like a Jack Ryan poster. He was like, I'm gonna go old school.
Well, he opened the night before us, and I got tickets for my assistant Molly because it was her birthday, and she also I got her an invitation to his opening night party.
Oh, that's lovely.
And she got to meet him, and she's very petite, and he's very tall, and she said, oh, Gene, I was so embarrassed. I was so a Twitter when I met him. He's so cute, and he's so tall. I said, hi, I'm Molly. Gene Smart is my assistant. And he just kind of looked at her like, cool. I was like,
John was like, went back, he's like, man, they do not pay Broadway people a lot. Gene, in order to make it work in New York, Gene had to take on an assistant job. You had a killer, like a Deborah Vance quality line on your first curtain call after you returned, because obviously, you know, Broadway goers, you know, one of the polls of the show, which I'm sure is obviously incredibly well written, and I'm sure, you know, they wanted to see you though. And so, what did you tell them during your first curtain call?
well, my first curtain call after my surgery, I was so grateful to be back, and I was so grateful to the audience. And so I just said, thank you so much for coming. And, you know, I always do what I'm told, and so many people told me to break a leg. So I just, you know, hope you enjoyed the show. And, you know.
I have a lot more to ask Gene Smart. We'll be right back after this.
I might be a capitalist pig myself, but first and foremost, I'm a comedian. I care more about making this show the right way than I do about making shareholders happy. So yes, this is goodbye. Thank you, that's very sweet. I love going to bed with you every night. Sorry I'm finishing too quickly.
We're here with Gene Smart. That was a clip from Hacks. You were hosting a late night show. I found it a little, you know, the thing I found just a little not true, if you can take the note, is I would never sacrifice my show to defend one of my writers.
I know.
But did you enjoy play acting as a late night talk show host?
Oh God, yes. I wanted to do more. Yeah.
Were you mad that they wrote it out?
I was.
Yeah, it was such a bummer. You were so good at it.
I mean, I wouldn't want to do it in real life.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
I would
fun.
guest host or something, maybe.
It is a shame. I know, but it's a shame. Like, that was one of the great things about the Carson era is people did, all these different people went and guest hosted.
Yeah.
I mean, Jimmy Kimmel's keeping it alive. I should give him
Yeah.
credit where credit's
Yeah.
due.
No. I mean, but your job's a lot harder than it looks, I'm sure. But I mean, I had the easy part because. Well, don't you think?
I think it looks pretty hard. I don't know why.
Well, no, but I mean, no, you know what I mean.
I'm kidding.
I mean, it's you have a lot more responsibilities than just
Yes,
sitting there being funny.
there's a long
you know.
day before this
Yeah,
part of the
yeah,
day. Well, you were great. Watching you behind the desk, you were a very nice
Thank
fit.
you. Well,
And the show is so beloved. I mean, you know, it must be crazy, obviously, anytime we do work that people appreciate and continue to appreciate, not just you with sort of accolades, but the rest of the cast and the rest of the creators. It just must be so special, and it must be such a nice vibe.
It is, and every single person, I mean this, every single person I work with is such a good person, such a cool, nice person. I mean, it just makes it such a pleasure. And it shouldn't be that way. It should always be that way.
It should always be that way, but it's not always that way.
You know, but that's the cherry on top.
The creator said that the minute they came up with the character of Deborah Vance, they had you in mind. Were you as quick to see that it would be a fit as they were?
Well, when I first met them, after they'd offered it to me, I said, well, you're right, I'm perfect for this. Thank God they laughed. But,
you have a lot of fans. You had a fan who came up to you. By the way, I'm very just impressed that, you know, so much of I think when stars are on Broadway, look, a lot of people wait outside the stage door. Obviously, you're in you know, have mobility issues right now. You're still out there. It's really sweet that you do that. But someone asked you to sign Deborah Vance's signature on their arm so they could then get a tattoo of it. Was this did you find this stressful?
yes, it was.
Well, I'd be stressed if it was my signature, but it was you had to do a fictional character.
Well, also I had to
signature.
remember, how do I sign Deborah Vance?
Yeah.
I don't know. And I did a terrible job.
I don't know.
And
This is-
I kept thinking she was joking. And plus, it was a Sharpie. And if you ever tried to write on skin or on fabric with a Sharpie,
It's wrong, right?
It's god awful.
Yeah, but let me just say, this is both your signature and the job she got done. It looks really good. I think you nailed it. I think you nailed it. I'm not surprised. You nail a lot. You're really good at stuff. Thank you so much for being here,
You're
Jean.
so welcome.
It is the best
Thank
to have
you.
you. Guys, this
Thank
is
you.
Being Smart, everybody.
Thank you.
Hacks is streaming HBO Max. And Call Me Izzy is playing at Studio 54 on Broadway. Be right back.